Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to my garden. We are back in the garden, and yes, I took a mini break, so I haven't been posting as often as I usually do. The last video I said I was overwhelmed. I was dealing with a heat wave. I was dealing with pests on my fall seedlings. Just everything you can think of in the summer happened in the garden. So I took a mini break to Montreal with the family, and it was a well-needed break. And now we are back in the garden, and it's time to get down to business. We need to clear out some of our beds because we are going to be planting some of our fall seedlings. Not today. Today is going to be a harvest video and a cleanup video, getting the garden ready for the fall seedlings. And then in the next video, we'll be planting all the seedlings. I've left them outside while I was on vacation, and I just said, you know what, you guys survive or don't survive, like whatever. But we're also going to be taking a look at what else is happening in the garden, the good and the bad, because that's what we do on the channel. I show you the real goods. So I'm going to walk you around the garden, show you what's working, what's not, show you the fall seedlings that I have on the deck, and then we'll get started. Now you may wonder why I have a sweater on, and that's because it is 16 degrees right now, 16 degrees Celsius, or what is it, 61 degrees Fahrenheit. It is cold in the mornings in the garden, and this is the perfect time to be outside, clean things up, trim things back, and get things out of the garden. So let's get started. Now, if you're new here, my name is Marsha. I'm the Black Thumb Gardener. I live in Ontario, Canada, USDA Zone 5B. If you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe. And if you're returning, welcome back, and thank you for supporting this channel. So I'm going to take you on a quick tour of the garden first before we start cleaning up. And we're going to start off with this bed. So we do have some corn that's growing in this bed, and it doesn't look like it's doing so well. I'm finding that a lot of my summer crops are not doing well. They're just being attacked by pests. This particular corn plant was attacked by the Japanese beetle early in its life, and it ate a lot of the leaves. So I'm quite surprised that it's still doing okay and surviving. So I'm hoping that in the next little bit I'll get some corn. I did have a pumpkin here that looked like it was doing well, but it seemed to have died off a bit. And I don't know. I really don't know what's going on with my squash, my cucumbers, and my pumpkin plants. It could be squash bugs or something else, but they're just not doing well. And that's probably one of the things I'm going to pull out of the garden today. I have beans here. I just harvested beans yesterday when we got home, and they are doing okay so far. So I think I'm going to plant some more beans in the garden for fall harvesting. And then over here we have my squash bed, and it does have some kale in it. I'm going to pull this kale out today because I'm going to be replanting kale, and we really haven't eaten on this kale plant, but I may save some for eating inside. We do have a lot of squash here, but they're just not doing well. I had a zucchini here I pulled out. I have this, I think this is Yuki Churi, and this was not doing well. I just saw yesterday that there is one little plant that's forming, and I can't find it anymore. It must be on the other side. Anyways, I'm just tempted to pull out all of these squash plants because there just isn't enough time for them to mature leading into the fall. The temperature has already dropped, so to me, it just doesn't make sense keeping this here. I just want to rip out this bed and just put in something brand new. And then over here, the bright spot of the garden is that the tomatoes are doing relatively well. Now the plants have just had it. The plants are over it. They're completely done. I don't even know what's going on in here. I don't know what these leaves are. They look like bean leaves. I didn't plant beans here, so just a lot of stuff going on in the garden, and it's time to take some things out. But we're going to harvest some of these tomatoes today, and look, this is cilantro. It's gone to seed, and we're just about almost ready to harvest some of these seeds. And then over here, I do want to mention though that the Manitoba tomato that I mentioned in one of my garden tours, I was tempted to pull that plant out, and I think I should have. The plant is splitting now. It's not doing well, and I won't plant that variety again. But everything else is looking good. This variety is called Sunrise Sauce, and it turns this kind of bright orange color. Gorgeous. Everything's doing well here. And my peppers are starting to come in, and I'm happy about that because I didn't know if I was going to have a pepper harvest, and I'm happy to see that things are coming in, including my sweet peppers over here. Oops. My sweet peppers are finally starting to come in. It took a while. It was a struggle. So things are definitely happening in the garden. And then with the potato failure that I had, I planted some more beans. These are drying beans, so we're gonna harvest those later in the fall. And then you can see I did have some flowers that I replanted here. I had some cosmos here, and the Japanese beetles, they've just been taking my flowers out, my strawberries out. They've just been destructive this year in the garden. Now, I did want to give you an update on the watermelon that we started together. That's not doing well. I'm going to pull it out. This is what the watermelon looks like. I don't know what's going on this year. And the cantaloupe is the only thing that looks like it's doing okay. But again, I don't think there's enough time for these crops to mature before the end of the season. This is the bed I want to focus a lot of my energy on. I want to do a big harvest of parsley here, but harvest all of the onions. I do have a batch of carrots that we started together. This is the Autumn King carrots that we'll harvest in the fall. And then I started some, if you remember, I started from some lettuce from seed in the summer. And this is, what is this? This is Coastal Star romaine lettuce. So that's finally coming in. And I think what I'm gonna do is rip out that bed and just fill it with greens. And then over here, we have another kale plant. I'm gonna rip this out and redo my kale. And this is filled with, it looks beautiful, right? But this is filled with the cabbage moth. They're all over this plant. You just don't see it, but they're there. And then this is some Callaloo. I'm gonna harvest that and I'm gonna freeze that, and that's gonna be great for winter eating. So this is a state. I am gonna harvest some, this is some dill. I'm gonna harvest some dill seeds today as well. So we're clearing out this bed, and we're also gonna harvest some of the onions around the entire garden. And then, oh yes, how could I forget? You're here to see what the fall seedlings look like. So these are the fall seedlings that I've left outside, and I just went on vacation. I hardened them off before I went on vacation, and I just left them outside because I didn't want them inside the house given I had that aphid issue. The aphid and spider mite issue is gone, thank goodness. So they've been doing okay. Some things have not been doing well in the heat. Some things dried out while I was gone on vacation and died, and that's okay. Those things I will start over from seed, not a problem. But my brassicas are looking pretty good. I do have some more Cosmo flowers here, some green onions, some more dill, which is why we're pulling out that dill. We have some beets and some cilantro we're going to put into the garden again. And then these, this is, sugar snap peas. Yeah, it's looking pretty beat up, so we definitely need to get this into the garden. This is why I need to do that clean out today. Okay, I put my harvest basket here, and let's go grab some stuff from the garden.
Tell me all your secrets you hide inside. I tell you all of my feelings I have in my mind. Growing in circles, it goes on and on. I'm tired of making and all of the things that I say to you, I feel like you take them and leave it behind.
Okay, that was a nice little onion harvest, and that was just from one bed. We still have I think about 3 beds that we have onions tucked in this year. So we're gonna go grab those as well. I'm also picking out some weeds, and the dill over here smells so strong. Okay, I think I'm gonna start over here in the squash bed. There's a lot of bees flying around, so I don't want to disrupt them.
지금 우리의 상태를 봐 우린 못 돌아간다고 그대로 사랑한다고 말해놓고 이제는 다 거짓말 같아 전부 다 I don't wanna waste my time 이해 못한다는
But look at this. It looks amazing. I'm really happy with this harvest. Now these onions probably won't last me through the entire winter, but it will definitely make a dent somewhat in my grocery budget, maybe like, I don't know, $5. But it was just fun growing them. Onions, I find, are so easy to grow in the garden. They do take up some space, but they're also beneficial because they help to deter pests, rodents, because they give off a very pungent smell, and they help protect other plants in the garden. Now, I did have to take this out because I am adding some sugar snap peas in the garden, and peas and alliums don't work together, and that was one of the reasons I harvested. Plus, a lot of the alliums were ready anyway, so it was time to take them out of the garden. So I will bring this inside later on to cure, but I will drop them off indoors right now, and then we're gonna take the same harvest basket, and actually, no, I'm gonna leave this outside for a little bit, and then we're gonna grab another harvest basket and grab some of the tomatoes in the garden that are ready. And I do see a couple of cucumbers that are also ready to be harvested. So let's do that.
Thought I had to try to make no mistakes. I prep ahead of time. I'm never late. Make it there on time. Don't bring down the mood. Greet them with a smile. I thought that it was smart. Stay in my lane. Always hit the mark. Thought that was the way to get a head start. Perfection's the play. I had the leading part. I realize you never get a medal in the end. No, no one's gonna give you any credit. I was playing a game, but no one else seemed to.
Okay, this is not bad at all. I am not mad at this harvest. Now, I do have 3 different varieties in this basket. I have a Posano Roma tomato by West Coast Seed. This is what it looks like. And then I have the Plum Regal. This is by Vessi Seeds. And then I have Sunrise Sauce. This is also by Vessi Seeds. These are all Romas. And then I think I do have one slicing tomato, which is here, and this is Tastily by West Coast Seeds. Now, I am picking these a bit early. It is going to rain today, so I'm worried that a lot of these tomatoes that are almost ready are going to split because they're gonna get a ton of water. And also, I'm still noticing that something is trying to eat the tomatoes. They don't eat the whole tomato, they just take a bite and then they're gone. So I do want to take as much in as possible because I am making sauce with this year. And what I'm doing is I'm ripening them on my counter, and then I'm dumping them into the freezer, and then later on in the season we're going to be making a whole batch of sauce and canning them, but that will be probably in the fall or winter, who knows. But this is looking fantastic, and there's still a ton more tomatoes that need to come out of the garden.
Participating, I can't believe I got so judgy. I don't know what got into me. Can't believe I let it get so ugly. I let it go too far. Got so judgy, making sure nobody got above me. Can't believe I let it get so ugly. I let it go too far. Got so overworking every situation, keeping track of what everybody's doing. Do they have something I lack? Try to prove I could be just as good, but I misunderstood what it's supposed to be about. Realize you never get a medal in the
So I finally cleared out this bed and it feels so good to have a clean bed. I need to figure out what the issue was here with watering. I'm not sure if I need to run another line. I think I'm going to do that today. And I'm just going to dig up the soil, probably add some worm casting as amendment, and then plant some of the sugar snap peas on the end, and then plant the rest. It feels like it's starting to rain right now, so I might have to go inside. And just a quick pit stop for the Rose of Sharon. Isn't she gorgeous? Anyways, guys, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one when we finally plant our fall garden. Bye.